The movie opens in 1960s London, with the birth of Estella, who is born with striking half-black and half-white hair. Because of her unique appearance, Estella is considered an outcast and struggles to conform to society's expectations, despite her mother Catherine's efforts to teach her to follow patterns and conform. Estella rebels against these expectations. She is brilliant, rebellious, and harbors a darker alter ego she calls Cruella. Catherine sends Estella to a private school, urging her to keep her bad side, Cruella, under control and embrace her kind nature. However, Estella finds it challenging to fit in due to her eccentricities. She befriends Anita Darling but faces relentless bullying and mockery from other students. Eventually, pushed to her limit, Estella embraces her rebellious side and stands up to her tormentors, leading to her being thrown into a dumpster. In the dumpster, Estella discovers a stray dog, whom she adopts and names Buddy. Estella's bad behavior lands her in the headmaster's office over and over, making her a problem child and sending her mother into conflict with the school's headmaster. Estella's mother withdraws her from school in order to keep her record clean, despite the headmaster's enthusiasm for expulsion. Catherine drives Estella and Buddy to London, hoping to start a new life and encourage her daughter's fashion dreams. But first Catherine stops at a magnificent winter ball at Hellmand Hall, explaining that she must speak with an old friend to get the money they need for their new life. Estella wants to see the gala, but her mother insists she stay in the car while she's inside, and asks her to look after a red necklace, which she describes as a family heirloom. But after spotting a unique-looking dress, Estella and Buddy immediately leave the car to check the party out for themselves. While inside, Estella is awed by the extravagant fashion, feeling, for the first time, that she truly belongs. But when Buddy breaks free, Estella is forced to chase him through the crowded room, immediately drawing the attention of the Baroness's valet and right-hand man John. Estella is caught by the Baroness's henchmen after the incident at the party, but she manages to break free and escape. While fleeing, she encounters 3 vicious Dalmatians and is forced to hide outside. As she watches, the dogs attack her mother, Catherine, causing her to fall off a cliff to her death. The Baroness claims it was an accident, blaming Catherine for demanding money. Devastated and blaming herself for her mother's death, Estella runs away and seeks refuge on a garbage truck, inadvertently leaving behind her mother's necklace. She eventually arrives at Regent's Park Fountain, a place she had wanted to visit with her mother. Feeling remorseful for what happened, Estella realizes she lost her mother's necklace. The next morning, Estella wakes up at the fountain and notices 2 petty thieves, Jasper and Horace, along with their one-eyed dog, Wink, stealing money from the fountain. Jasper realizes Estella doesn't have a family, but they are interrupted by the arrival of the police, prompting the trio to flee with their dogs. The brothers do their best to outrun her, but Estella and Buddy manage to keep up, even making it into their hideout. The boys introduce themselves to Estella and she reveals that she's an orphan. Jasper sympathizes with her and urges Horace to remember that feeling, convincing him that Estella could be a good fit for their group. Having a girl around could make for an innocent distraction. Estella finds a safe place with the boys, but her two-toned hair is too obvious for a life of crime, so she dyes her hair red. 10 years later, Estella is a fully grown adult living with Jasper, Horace, Buddy, and Wink as successful petty criminals. They successfully pickpocket strangers on the bus, break into homes, run cons in the hotel to steal guests' belongings, and frequently find themselves on the run when the police turn up. Although she's content with her simple life of crime, Estella continues to work on her fashion, longing for a career as a designer. At Baroness von Hellmann's prestigious couture company, the House of Baroness. On her birthday, Jasper and Horace steal a cake and give it to her with an extra special gift, a job offer from the Baroness's store Liberty. Jasper reveals he pulled a few strings to get her accepted, mainly breaking in and dropping her resume on the top of the pile. Estella is excited about the opportunity, but Horace thinks they're using the job as an angle for a con. Estella is deeply disappointed to find that her new job isn't as a glamorous fashion designer, but as an underappreciated janitor. Despite her best efforts, her boss won't even begin to look at Estella's designs, instead giving her much more cleaning work. Horace and Jasper arrive with lunch, but Estella quickly realizes that they're looking for the angle. an opportunity to rob the place. Estella insists that she wants to work honestly with absolutely no crime in the store. The trash bag she's carrying gets poured onto her, leaving her filthy. Yet another thing, her boss scolds her and ordered to stay and clean overnight. Estella steals some alcohol from his office, drinks herself into a stupor, and seeks out the window display, which she finds hideous and unfashionable. Morose. The next morning, Estella wakes up hungover by the window, surprised to find that she had radically redecorated the window display in her own vision. Her boss is prepared to fire her until he realizes that the Baroness is visiting. Estella tries to hide with Horace and Jasper, who have already stolen their share of goods. When the Baroness inquires about the responsible party for the window display, her boss reluctantly points out Estella and announces her imminent firing. To everyone's surprise, the Baroness reveals that she is pleased with Estella's work and offers her a job at the House of Baroness. Estella eagerly accepts and begins working on new and original dress designs, impressing the Baroness with her talent and hard work. Despite Estella's growing success, she soon realizes that the Baroness is a cold and sociopathic woman. After work, Estella visits a vintage shop and befriends the owner, Artie. She notices a stunning red dress in the window, a vintage design by the Baroness. Estella becomes curious about a necklace worn by the Baroness, which she recognizes as the same one her mother gave her. When Estella confronts the Baroness, she spins an elaborate tale about the necklace being a family heirloom. As Estella learns more about the Baroness's true nature and remembers the night of her mother's death at the Baroness's gala, she starts to feel a deep sense of hatred towards her boss. Estella shares her discovery with Horace and Jasper, urging them to use the opportunity to pull off a heist to reclaim the necklace. Over the next few days, Estella meticulously plans the heist, memorizing the Baroness's schedule, studying the guards' movements, and identifying the surveillance cameras. She is determined to execute the heist flawlessly and regain the precious necklace that holds sentimental value to her. Estella quickly realizes that the Baroness would recognize her if she attended the gala, so she devises another plan. On the night of the gala, Jasper and Horace arrive at the building disguised as pest exterminators, using Wink as a dog-sized rat to sneak into the building. Horace heads for the safe while Jasper infiltrates the security mainframe. Meanwhile, Estella, now dressed as Cruella in the stunning red dress, crashes the party and steals the limelight from the Baroness. After dealing with the Baroness's guards, Cruella engages in a conversation with her. As Horace reaches the safe, he discovers that the necklace isn't there. The Baroness is wearing it. As the Baroness prepares to kick Cruella out of the party, Jasper creates a grand distraction by releasing rats into the crowd. Amidst the chaos, Cruella quietly grabs the necklace and gives it to Buddy, but one of the Dalmatians intervenes and swallows the necklace. The Baroness uses a dog whistle to command her Dalmatians, revealing to Estella that it was the same whistle used when the dogs attacked her mother, Catherine, leading to her death. Estella realizes that the Baroness was responsible for her mother's murder. With the heist a failure, the thieves manage to escape the estate, only to find that their truck has been towed. The situation becomes even more complicated, and Estella, Jasper, and Horace must come up with a new plan to retrieve the necklace and confront the Baroness once and for all. Estella hotwires a car to escape but soon stops and cries upon realizing that the Baroness was the one who killed her mother. The next day, Cruella orders the thieves to kidnap the 3 Dalmatians until one of them naturally passes the necklace. Now fully embracing her Cruella persona, she visits a childhood friend, Anita Darling, who is now a journalist and the only one who realizes that Cruella and Estella are the same person. Cruella convinces Anita to use her journalist connections to publicize Cruella. Meanwhile, Jasper and Horace clumsily stage a dognapping of the Dalmatians while they are being bathed. Focused entirely on revenge, Cruella spends the next few weeks working to upstage and humiliate the Baroness through style and publicity. Cruella attends the Baroness's extravagant parties in increasingly over-the-top and stylish outfits, making sure everyone is talking about her. The Baroness, now a mere footnote in the cultural discussion, grows increasingly furious about Cruella's antics. She fires her lawyer, Roger Ratcliffe, for failing to locate, identify, and arrest Cruella. Instead, She tasks Estella with designing a special dress for her upcoming spring collection. Estella impresses the Baroness by using expensive foreign materials to construct the dress. That night, Horace and Jasper break into the Baroness's house, causing trouble to make it appear as if Cruella had broken in. Paranoid and angry, the Baroness orders that all her dresses be stored in a highly secured vault. Horace and Jasper start to develop a negative attitude towards Cruella due to her constant verbal abuse and lack of appreciation for their work. However, she shows no remorse. On the day of her spring collection presentation, the Baroness opens the vault containing her dresses, only to discover a huge swarm of moths inside that have eaten through the dresses, ruining her collection. Realizing that the material Estella used was actually moth eggs, the Baroness pieces together that Estella and Cruella are the same person. Outside, the Baroness discovers that Cruella, Jasper, Horace, and Artie are putting on a show in Regent's Park, once again stealing attention from her. Cruella, dressed in a Dalmatian-style dress, makes a huge splash, with the Baroness believing that Cruella killed her dogs. Cruella returns to the hideout to discover that the Baroness and her goons have tied Jasper and Horace up, part of a plan to frame them for Cruella's murder. As she's also tied up, Cruella reveals that she knows the Baroness killed her mother. The Baroness suggests that she's killed so many people she can't remember who Cruella's mother was. The Baroness sets the hideout on fire and leaves, but as she's backing out, Cruella notices a mysterious figure coming to save her. As the building burns, all of London hears that Cruella is dead. Estella wakes up the next morning in John's house along with the dogs, having found the necklace. John reveals that it was the key to a box containing Estella's birth records. In those records, Estella is revealed to be the Baroness's biological daughter. He explains that while the Baron did want children, the Baroness did not, believing that a pregnancy would ruin or stifle her career. After giving birth, the Baroness ordered John to get rid of the child, but John could not bring himself to murder the baby, so he gave her to their sweet maid, Catherine, who raised Estella in secret. Devastated by the revelation, Estella runs away and retreats to the fountain in Regent's Park, where she makes her peace with her adoptive mother and officially embraces her new, full-time identity as Cruella, brilliant, bad, and a little bit mad. Stealing a truck, Estella and Wink break Jasper and Horace out of prison, but they're still mad at her for mistreating them. Estella convinces them to come with her to John's house, where she proudly refers to them as her family. Now reunited, the crew concoct a whole new plot to bring down the Baroness once and for all. In the meantime, Cruella pays a visit to Artie, recruiting him for a big role in the plan. Horace steals Estella a new car called a Panther De Vil and points out the similarity to the word devil, though it's pronounced De Vil. Stella quite likes the name. On the night of the Baroness's latest ball, she's shocked to discover that all of her guests have been tricked into wearing black and white Cruella wigs and outfits to honor Cruella. Unable to identify the real Cruella, the Baroness and her guards are on high alert. Cruella, who's already in the mansion, pokes the Baroness with a pin and grabs her dog whistle before slipping into the bathroom to change. Soon, the Baroness is dragged outside by the Dalmatians, where Estella stands with the dog whistle in the very spot that her adoptive mother was killed. Inside the mansion, Horace, Jasper, Artie, and John begin directing people outside. The Baroness lets go of the dogs, allowing them to speed towards Estella as they did with Catherine, but the dogs settle beside her, having come to obey their new master. Estella reveals that she is the Baroness's biological daughter, allowing the Baroness to take full credit for her creative genius. Hoping to make things better, the Baroness suggests that they could run the company together, mother and daughter. As she slowly approaches and embraces Estella in a hug, the Baroness suddenly pushes her off the cliff to her death. Realizing that everybody in attendance witnessed the blatant murder, the Baroness attempts to cover it up as an accident. However, Estella reveals that she survived the fall thanks to a tailored skirt made into a parachute, an ingenious design by her and Artie. As the Baroness is led into a police van for arrest, Estella arrives at the party in the De Vil once again, surprising everybody and upstaging the Baroness in her most humiliating moment. Cruella reveals that Estella left everything in her will to her, meaning all of the Baroness's fortune is now Cruella's. After holding a funeral for Estella, Cruella brings Horace and Jasper back to the newly renamed Hell Hall. Now that she's an heiress, Cruella De Vil decides to keep the estate and live there with her new crew, with John and Artie in for the ride. Estella tells her new team that she has big plans in store. Later, Cruella leaves 2 Dalmatian puppies at the home of Roger and Anita, named Pongo and Perdita. Roger, now working as a songwriter, begins on his latest work, a song about Cruella De Vil. If she doesn't scare you, no evil thing will.